Today I am taking you through a studio day where I throw a batch of mugs and use a ruler to try to get a consistent shape and size. So I start by pulling out my porcelain from the bag and wedging it on the table to get it to be a nice even consistency. Wedging allows me to take out all of the air bubbles in the clay, and I'll usually do this for a couple minutes just to warm the clay back up and make it elastic again. After I'm done, I'll pat it together to make a cone and then cut it up into smaller balls. Usually I'll weigh these out, but today I rolled them into balls that felt about the same weight. I wasn't trying to be super precise, but I'll roll these out with the amount of clay that I have, and then I'll put them in a bag and wrap it up so that they don't dry out while I'm throwing. Next, I throw them down forcefully on the wheel and I'll center the clay. I'll do this by pressing my left hand into the side and pressing down with my right hand. Once the clay is centered, I'll make a well by pressing the middle down and pulling the bottom open. At this point, I'm going to measure the bottom using the ruler to try to get the width that I need. I wanted about 3 inches for these, so I had to pull it open a little bit more. After I'm done doing this, I'll compress the bottom and then begin to start my first pull. I'm going to pull the walls up by pressing the clay on the inside with my left hand and pressing on the outside simultaneously with my right hand. I'll pull the walls up by bringing my fingers up the side of the clay like an elevator and lightening up pressure at the top. Once I've reached the height that I want, I'll measure the clay again using the ruler. Again, I'm trying for 3 inches on the inside and 3 inches on the outside. So I readjust the height, and you can see a little bit of a wobble here, but it got worked out in the pulling and in the shaping later. I'll remeasure just to see if I've got the correct height, and then collar the clay back in so that I can shape it. I'll compress the rim using the skin in between my fingers, and then continue to readjust measurement. After this, I'll shape the clay just to give it a little bit of a flare using my metal rib. When I'm done with that, I'll take the sponge and clean up any excess water. Then, using my wire tool, I'll cut my pot off the wheel and set it aside onto a separate bat. I'll continue this process over and over again with the rest of the balls of clay. I've sped this part up to make it go a little faster, and I'm just going to let it play out for a little bit. The key to getting a consistent shape is being intentional about how you use the ruler and making sure that each one of those marks is the same, which I really wasn't, so some of these are a little bit off, but that's okay. They're mostly the same size and shape. So when I'm finished, I will again cut this off and put it aside, and I will wrap all of these up and set them aside until they're leather hard. But that is how you get a consistent shape using a ruler. No fancy tools required. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.